All right, another command I use a lot is collapse. So what collapse does is it takes some data that maybe looks like this, where we've got everything's at the observations are at the make level, and we collapse it, and maybe we just want to look at it the domestic for domestic and foreign cars, right? Maybe we just want means and some other stats for domestic and for foreign cars, or maybe we want it by categories of miles per gallon, or maybe we want to buy like domestic and categories per miles per gallon or something like this, right? So some other observation level that's like more squished down, collapsed than what we observed to begin with. So here we have our collapse command, where we've got some statistic. We got lots of different statistics we could choose from. We could do a bunch of different ones. We do mins, max, et cetera, et cetera. And then we've got what we're collapsing by, right? So let's see what happens here when we run this. Notice this is, we got the comma here. This is like the option for this command. So instead of at the make level, now we've got it at the foreign versus the foreign by miles per gallon category, right? And we've got the mean price, right? So that can be really useful if we want to say just graph the means or something. We could do it this way, right? Here I'm just saying graph. If I had done this originally, it would have been a, there's all sorts of observations for each of these categories. It would have looked a bit messy. Collapsing it down, I'm taking the means first. Now I can draw this nice graph. It's probably a little too collapsed down, but you can see sort of the idea here. We collapsed it down, made it a little simpler for ourselves. Now the downside here is that we can't go back to our data set that we had before, right? Which is a pain and something, again, reason not to use the command prompt. So if I want to get back to where I am now, I go back, I just run this all the way back. Oh, I'm installing the thing again. But anyway, so I'm back here. Boom, super easy. Advantage of using a do file, use a do file. Okay, so if I don't want to lose the whole data set, I can use preserve. Then I collapse it, and I do my little thing here, and then I can do restore. Oh, and also while I'm here, I can also mention, you can export data from Stata if you want to play with it in Excel or something. So if I want the means in Excel, I can collapse it, or if I just want the whole data set, I can just export the whole data set. But if I want specifically to play with the means, I can collapse it, export it to Excel, and I've got mean by miles per gallon category as this Excel file. Then I'm going to export this thing too, and then I've preserved it, telling Stata remember this data set, and then after I run this stuff, I'm going to restore that, which is saying that thing that you remembered, pull that back up, right? So this way I won't be stuck with that collapsed data set. So it's doing the graph again. I've created this Excel file, which I can pull up here. Boom. So it's the same data set. I've just spit it out into Excel.